in what are otherwise civilian responsibilities?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Duale, I'm sure you will recall that in the last part of the last parliament, you and I served together in the Public Accounts Committee. During our period in PAC, we interacted with the KDF, or the Ministry of Defense for that matter. And you will agree with me again that the KDF has remained a fairly professional outfit in the region. My question is, what is the philosophy that will underpin your management of the defense sector? Because we'll be superintending over the KDF, at least on policy matters. In view of what one would call conflicting positions, or rather controversial positions that you have taken in the past. A case in point, Honorable Duale, is your rather disturbing comments in the wake of the Al-Shabaab terrorist attack on Garissa University in your constituency of Garissa Township on the 2nd of April 2015. You are reported to have undertaken to name all those who are responsible for the financing of the Al-Shabaab terrorists. Indeed, you gave yourself 30 days. I'm afraid to say that Kenyans have been waiting to date for those names. So I would be happy to hear from you today, firstly by you naming those names, and secondly, elaborating on your philosophy, the philosophy that will underpin your dealing in the security, on national security and the defense of our territorial integrity sector. But finally, is again your position on these threats to our national integrity by foreign elements, including Al-Shabaab, of course, and of late, elements of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. It is on record that a very senior general in the Ugandan People's Defense Forces has in the recent past threatened to capture Nairobi. A matter that, in my view, has been taken very lightly by the Kenyan state and government by reducing it to a mere diplomatic issue. While in my view, I think it is a serious security and defense matter. Thank you.
Yes, one more, Daoud. Let me finish with the leadership. Boy.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I would like to ask the nominee that first and foremost, he's been a very eloquent and abrasive leader, and comments by leaders have to be taken very, very seriously. Case in point being what my leader has just mentioned, the comments by a Ugandan general. Now, the nominee did make a comment in vernacular while speaking to the residents of Isili at one time, and implied that the Al-Shabaab who are attacking Muslim residents of Isili would be better advised to go and drop those bombs in other places, and he gave an example of Machakos. Now, considering that he's now going to be responsible for managing the Kenya Defense Forces, and they have much more firepower than the Al-Shabaab, do those comments still stand? And secondly, while he was majority leader in 2013, he was very, very clear in his mind about cabinet being made up of people who are not politicians. And several times he did mention that. Has his position changed now that he has been nominated and he is a well-known politician? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Duale, you can deal with those four.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Speaker. Let me start with the question by Honorable Boss Sholei, the Deputy Speaker. I agree with you that the key mandate of KDF within the reading of Article 241 is to protect the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the Republic. That is the core mandate of KDF. And that will stand. KDF will at all times protect our nation from any external aggression. Coming to the matter of Migingo in Uganda, there is already a government boundary committee which was set up, which is yet to give its final report. And along that line, the International Boundary Committee under the Office of the President, in terms of the executive order, is also dealing with the matter. And more so, there is an MOU between the Kenya Defense Forces and the Ugandan Defense Forces on a number of cooperation agreements. And I think that will also help in solving the matter. Coming to Honorable Ichung'wah, the leader of majority, I think there is a narrative and a perception about the Somalis in this country. Somalis, not only are they in Djibouti or in Mogadishu, in Somalia, Somalis have a congresswoman in the US. Somalis have a minister, there's a Somali minister of housing in Canada. So Somalis, wherever they are, the citizenship where they belong is where they are loyal to. And I saw to the Constitution as a member of parliament. So I treat me as a Kenyan Somali, just like the way you treat the other communities in this country. And I'm not the first one. I'm not the first Somali to hold the defense portfolio. Honorable late Yusuf Haji was one. I'm not the first Somali to hold a serious security docket. General Ali was the Commissioner of Police.
I prefer you call yourself Kenyan Somali because
no. I think I should not use Kenyan Somalis. I am a Kenyan. Yes. I am a Kenyan. So please, Honorable Ichung'wah, you are not one of them. But over the years, there's a clique in government who have a business of profiling Kenyan Somalis, and I think that will end up with this administration. This is an administration that wants to make all communities equal. So I will serve the people of Kenya in the docket of defense portfolio in accordance with the Constitution. Two, on the militarization of the civil service, I want to make it categorically very clear that under Article 241 of the Constitution, the Kenya Defense Forces have three functions. One function is the one that I stated earlier: protect the sovereignty and the integrity of the Republic of Kenya, and two, to assist civilian and other government agencies when called upon on a matter of emergency and disaster, with, again, the approval of the National Assembly, that they go and assist. And there were many cases, including even during the terror attack of Westgate. But they must come back and report to Parliament on the numbers. They must gazette first. They must report to Parliament on the numbers they have used, the resources they have used, and the personnel they have used. The third function of KDF, according to the Constitution, is when they are called upon to help when there is insecurity that the National Police Service cannot handle. And that is the case in point. Currently, KDF is in Turkana and Baringo, and making sure that that section of our country is safe and secure. And again, with the permission of the National Assembly, which they're going to report to you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Wandai talked about KDF is professional on policy matters. Yes, I served with you. But one of the functions of the CS Defense, apart from guiding the policy of the Defense Ministry, is to monitor and evaluate all projects, whether it is infrastructure and everything within KDF. So I will have an oversight over what is going on in that. But let me come to this story which has been haunting me since 2015, you know, and I've answered it, I think, over 1,000 times, Mr. Speaker. And that was after Gary